PSPhotoBox.
Welcome to the full PSPhotoBox tutorial. In this video, we will cover every relevant feature, from configuration to real event operation. This includes photo settings, video and Boomerang, camera setup, templates, printing, green screen, QR download, kiosk credits, privacy consent, and troubleshooting. PSPhotoBox consists of two parts: the configuration interface, called PSPhotoBox Configurator, and the booth software, called PSPhotoBox Main Application. You configure everything first, then you run the main application during your event. Let's start with the configurator. Before we configure anything, a quick note about camera types. PSPhotoBox supports DSLR or mirrorless cameras such as Canon and Nikon for the best quality and full manual control. This includes ISO, aperture, and shutter speed.
It also supports UVC webcams. Webcams are simpler and more affordable, but they usually offer lower image quality and fewer controls. The booth detects the camera on startup. In the Camera tab, you can initialize it and verify the camera settings.
Recommendation for continuous operation. Dedicated power supply. For continuous photo booth operation, using a dedicated power supply for the camera is highly recommended, and for professional use, essentially required. A stable, continuous power flow prevents unexpected camera disconnections during the event. Use original cables, Canon or Nikon. Both the power supply and the USB cable connecting the camera to the computer should ideally be the manufacturer's original cables. Cheap third-party cables can cause connection drops and power fluctuations, which can significantly impair continuous operation. We begin in the Event and Photo tab. This is where you define file naming, storage location, countdown timings, and optional features such as templates, multi-template selection, green screen, USB copy or move, and the media browser. First, choose a clear name prefix for your event. For example, wedding_Maria Max_2026. This prefix becomes part of your file names and helps you keep events organized. Next, set the storage location. Ideally, select an empty folder dedicated to the event. Now configure the countdowns. Countdown before photo defines how long guests have before the capture happens. Countdown between photos defines the pause when multiple photos are captured in a series. The previously taken photo is displayed the amount of seconds defined here. Countdown before saving defines how long the result stays visible before the final save step. You can select the countdown animation style and adjust colors for the arc, the text, and the background. Use the preview function to test the countdown animation. After the event, you can back up photos and videos to a USB stick. Once a removable drive is detected, the software offers copy or move automatically. If multiple removable drives are connected, you can choose the target drive. Under Event Options, you can enable template usage. This activates the template workflow for display and printing. You can also enable the media browser, so guests can view previously taken photos and videos directly in the main window. The browser can be positioned on the top, bottom, left, or right. If you enable green screen, a dedicated green screen tab appears for fine-tuning. Multi-template mode allows up to 4 templates at the same time. Guests can choose which layout they want. You can assign custom template names, which are displayed in the main software. You can also provide custom preview images as PNG or JPG files. This makes template selection easier for guests. Next is Video and Boomerang. Here you configure video recording, aspect ratios, resolution and quality, audio recording, soundtrack, overlays, intro and outro clips, and test recording. Video recording requires FFmpeg. When you enable video for the first time, PSPhotoBox checks whether FFmpeg is installed and can offer an automatic installation. Enable video. If FFmpeg is missing, installation can be offered through the Windows Package Manager, Winget. You can also install FFmpeg manually if you prefer. Select one or more aspect ratios. At least one aspect ratio must remain active. Use 4:3 for classic format. Use 16:9 for widescreen. Use 1:1 for square social media content. Use 9:16 for vertical videos like Instagram Reels or TikTok. Choose the video size, then set the video quality from low up to ultra. You can also apply a beauty filter for smoother skin tones. Set a countdown for video recording, then define the clip length in seconds. If you want audio, enable audio recording. Select the microphone device. Adjust microphone volume. If needed, use the audio sync offset to compensate timing differences between video and audio. To add background music, enable soundtrack. Select an audio file, for example MP3, WAV, or AAC. Set the soundtrack volume. Configure fade in and fade out durations if desired. For branding, you can enable an overlay. Select an image file. Select an image file. A PNG with transparency is recommended. Choose the overlay position. For example, top left, top right, bottom right, or center. For a polished video style, you can add an intro and an outro. Enable intro and select a compatible video file. Enable outro and select a compatible video file. Set fade in and fade out, if available, and define the crossfade duration for smooth transitions. Always run a test recording before your event. If multiple aspect ratios are enabled, you will be asked to select one first. Boomerang mode records a short clip and loops it forward and backward. Configure Boomerang clip length and repeat count. Boomerang videos are always created without audio. Next is the Camera tab. Here you configure exposure settings, live view behavior, rotation and mirroring, image quality options, and you can take test photos without removing the camera from the booth. You can filter by camera manufacturer, all, Canon, Nikon, or webcam. Selecting the correct manufacturer can improve loading times. The status indicator shows whether the camera is connected and initialized. With compatible cameras, you can set shutter speed, aperture, and ISO values. Webcams typically do not support these manual controls. Auto exposure in LiveView can be enabled. When enabled, the live preview appears as bright as possible, regardless of the selected exposure values. Depending on the camera model, you may be able to configure autofocus mode, image quality, image size, and white balance. Some cameras may not support every option, so certain fields can remain empty. Rotation lets you match the display to how the camera is mounted. Mirror display makes LiveView feel like a mirror, which is usually ideal for guests. You can set the LiveView frame rate. LiveView Always On is enabled by default. If a camera has unstable LiveView, you can disable it so the camera fires directly without starting LiveView. Use Test Photo to verify exposure and sharpness. For guided camera setup, open the Setup Assistant. The Camera Assistant guides you through optimal camera setup in 8 steps. It asks about camera type, camera brand, lighting type, ambient brightness, distance to subject, number of people, motion risk, and your image quality preference. At the end, you receive recommended shutter speed, aperture, and ISO values. You can compare your current settings to the suggested optimal settings, and you can apply the recommendations with one click, or use them as a starting point for manual tuning. Now let's configure printing. This tab controls whether printing is available in the main booth application. It also defines printer selection, paper size, orientation, image corrections, margins, print quotas, and test printing with a live preview. Enable Allow Printing. If printing is disabled here, print fields remain hidden and the print button disappears in the main application. Select your printer. Choose the paper size used in that printer. Switch orientation between portrait and landscape, and verify the results using the preview. Prints remaining limits how many prints are allowed in total. This number decreases with each print. When it reaches 0, printing is disabled. Max prints per image limits how often the same image can be printed. Direct print can automatically print the first copy immediately after capture. Print duration per copy defines how long the interface stays locked after sending a print job. This helps prevent double-clicking on slower printers. You can adjust brightness and contrast for print output. Always monitor the preview while changing these settings. Small contrast adjustments are usually best. Set margins to position the layout correctly on paper. Then use Print Preview with current settings to create a test print. This is strongly recommended before every event. PSPhotoBox includes an advanced feature called 2-inch cut. It enables automatic trimming to 2-inch width directly in the printer, using a one-time DEV mode learning process. Enable 2-inch cut globally. The status shows whether learning has been completed for the selected printer. If it is not learned yet, start the learning wizard. The wizard opens the printer dialog 3 times. First with the cut setting off, second with the cut setting on, third again off for verification. The wizard compares these snapshots and detects the controlling byte offsets. If learning is successful, 2-inch cut can be used. If it fails, ensure you only change the 2-inch cut option in the printer dialog and nothing else. Once learned globally, 2-inch cut can also be enabled per template inside the template editor. In the Greenscreen tab, you load a background image and a real sample photo with a green background. Then you adjust tolerance and blur values until people are isolated cleanly. Choose your background image first. This image will replace the green area later and should be of the same size as your real sample photo from the camera. Then load a sample image. Use a real photo taken with your current camera settings and the actual event lighting. Adjust the green value tolerance range, then refine edges with blur strength and blur size. After each change, click Generate Preview to see the result immediately. Use Zoom to inspect details. Now we move to the template editor. This is where you build your photo layout using photo placeholders, images, text elements, and clip arts. Rulers, guides, and zoom help you position everything precisely. Use photo camera to add camera placeholders. Use image to insert graphics through the file dialog. You can also use drag and drop or clipboard. Use text to add text elements. And use clip arts for additional decorations. Multiple photo placeholders create a photo series. For example, if you place 3 camera placeholders, PSPhotoBox captures 3 photos in sequence and inserts them into the layout. You can control photo numbering, and you can reuse the same photo number multiple times. Photo elements can also apply styles such as grayscale, sepia, or negative. Define layout width, height, and DPI. The editor supports large canvases up to 8,000 size values and up to 300 DPI. Set the background color if needed. Define whether this template should be treated as 2-inch cut. This will instruct the printer later on to automatically cut it in half if 2-inch cut has been learned previously. Use rulers to create guides for consistent alignment. The layer list shows all elements and their stacking order. You can move layers up or down, copy elements, delete elements, and reorder them by drag and drop. Lock a layer to prevent accidental movement or scaling. For text design consistency, use copy style and paste style to transfer font, color, size, and shadow settings from one text element to another. Text elements support font selection, color selection, and alignment. Image elements can be linked to a file path through the selection button. If you enable shadows, you can configure shadow color, angle, distance, and transparency. When a text element is selected, a quick edit toolbar appears directly at the element. It provides alignment controls, bold and italics toggles, copy style and paste style, and quick access to font and color pickers. The template menu contains the most important actions. Help opens the shortcut overview. Import loads templates from the file system. There is also a templates booth zip importer. Export saves your current template. Delete resets the template. Print Preview generates a full resolution preview image as a JPEG file and opens it. Keyboard shortcuts include Ctrl-C, Ctrl-X, Ctrl-V, Ctrl-D, and Delete. Ctrl-S saves. Ctrl-Z and Ctrl-Y undo and redo. Arrow keys move elements. Alt plus arrow supports slapping. Control plus left or right rotates in 1-degree steps. The template browser lets you browse template folders on the left and select templates via the preview grid on the right. The status bar shows your current path. In texts and fonts, you can customize all texts shown in the main application. Select a global font and apply it to all texts. You can override individual texts and choose different fonts per text. You can customize button texts like save, print, and retry. You can customize printing messages, main welcome messages, warning messages, camera connection messages, splash screen messages, and pin messages. You can also customize the help overlay, including the title and the step texts. And you can customize QR code texts, including scan to download and additional information. Use the preview feature to verify readability. Use Reset All to restore defaults anytime. In the Keyboard tab, you define which keys trigger actions. Exit Application is the key to close the app immediately. The default is Escape. Buzzer is an instant trigger key. The default is B. You can also assign a mouse button as buzzer. There are camera focus keys, but autofocus is generally not recommended for photo booth operation. You can define keys for user interface actions like save, edit, print, and retry. And you can define kiosk mode credit keys for credit slots 1 to 4. Miscellaneous includes practical operational features. Show mouse toggles the mouse cursor. Edit bar position sets whether the edit bar is at the top or bottom. You can enable the Game Center, which adds a game button in the main application and provides additional settings. Language selection changes the application language immediately. PSPhotoBox supports many languages. If you enable pin protection, admin functions are protected by a 2-part pin. One pin is used for exiting the main booth software. Another pin is used for camera settings directly in the booth software. You can enable a help icon for guests. You can also enable additional help texts and arrows. Privacy consent activates a data privacy dialog before each session. Guests must confirm. If they decline, the session will not start. If privacy consent is enabled, you can allow confirming the dialog via the buzzer key. For startup behavior, you can decide whether to start LiveView on startup. You can replace the idle hint text with a start image or video, including PNG, JPEG, and GIF, even video files. You can add a welcome overlay image on top of LiveView for branding, ideally a transparent PNG. In the FTP section, you can test FTP connectivity. If FTP and QR are enabled, you can set the HTTP or HTTPS address used for download links. You can select the QR code position on the photo display. And Kiosk mode maps coin validator inputs to credits. These credits represent the number of printable photos available. In the About tab, you see version and license information, registration status, and the hardware ID, including a QR code. Depending on license status, you can start a 14-day trial, register a license, and deactivate a license to move it to another PC if you are using an enterprise license. You can check for updates and open the support portal. For troubleshooting, use the log viewer. Open log shows the full log file with search, severity filters, refresh, save log, and the option to send the log directly via email to PSPhotoBox support. You can also clear the log. Now, let's move to the PSPhotoBox main application. It runs full screen and borderless, and it is optimized for touch and kiosk operation with large, clear buttons. The interface shows recent mini previews at the top, the live view in the middle, and the main control bar at the bottom. Here is how a capture works. If video or Boomerang is enabled, guests first select the mode. If multiple templates are active, guests select a template. If multiple video aspect ratios are active, guests select the aspect ratio. Then they press start. The countdown runs and the photo or video is captured. After capture, the result is shown. For photos, guests can save, retry, and print if printing is allowed. If QR download is enabled, guests can scan the QR code and download their image or video and Boomerang. Printing is only visible and available if Allow Printing is enabled in the configuration. Guests select Quantity and then press Print. The main application includes several overlays and subviews. A pin input overlay protects admin functions. A camera settings side panel allows quick adjustments. A data privacy dialog can be displayed before each session. A help dialog can guide guests step by step. Game Center opens in a full screen overlay and can be closed with the close button. The media browser shows all media, including photos and videos. Images can be reprinted. The user experience is designed to be intuitive. Large, clear buttons, quick template selection, and informative overlays guide guests through the workflow. If kiosk mode is enabled, credits are displayed prominently. Before every event, do a quick pre-event check. Take a test photo, run a printer test, verify that the template fits, and confirm the QR code is positioned correctly. Check available storage space. Make sure all cables, especially USB, are secure. If the camera is not detected, make sure the camera is turned on and the USB connection is firm. Ensure the DSLR is in the correct PC connection mode. Disconnect and reconnect the camera briefly, then restart the software. If the printer is not printing, check that the printer is powered on and paper or roll is loaded. Verify settings in the Print tab and make sure the print quota is sufficient. Then try a Windows test print. If FTP or QR download is not working, verify FTP address, username, and password. Confirm that an internet connection is available. Ensure your server has enough storage space. If Greenscreen looks messy, adjust the green tolerance gradually. Ensure the green background is lit evenly. Improve settings step by step using Preview. If the software is not responding, exit with PIN if active and restart. Use Task Manager if necessary. Check free storage space. System requirements: Windows 10 or Windows 11. .NET version 4.7.2 or higher. A dual-core CPU at 2 GHz minimum. Intel Core i5 or AMD Ryzen 5 or better is recommended. 8 GB of RAM minimum. 16 GB recommended. 500 MB of storage plus space for photos and videos. DirectX 9 graphics with WDDM 1.0. Display, minimum 1024 by 768. At least 2 USB ports. Supported cameras include Canon and Nikon DSLRs and UVC webcams. Optional components include a photo printer, internet for FTP, a keyboard controller, and a coin validator. Licenses and legal. PSPhotoBox is used according to its EULA, which is viewable in the configuration software. Webcam support uses aforge.net under LGPL version 3. QR codes use QR Coder under the MIT license. Canon SDK and Nikon SDK are used according to their license terms. Fonts are OFL or SIL-OFL. The software is provided as is. For support, contact PSPhotoBox via phone, email, or our brand new support portal, which also provides you with an AI assistant which structurizes and categorizes your support case. When contacting support, provide your manual version, the software version, and any error codes. If requested, provide log files for faster troubleshooting. You have now seen the complete PSPhotoBox workflow, from configuration to event operation, including all major features and advanced options. Thank you for watching, and have a great event with PSPhotoBox.